Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. So, today we're going to check out some Nooie LED multicolor changing light bulbs. You can actually control them in several different ways, and they're actually really cool. So I've already gone and installed 3 out of 4 of these in my studio. They're pretty easy to set up. Now, these work with either iOS Apple devices or Android devices, either one. It does work with, of course, your Alexis, Google, voice-controlled stuff as well, or you can control them from your phone or tablet or iPad. Okay, so tablet, Android, iPad, Apple, right? Or Apple iPhone or Android phones. So anyways, initially to set these things up, you got to download the program, obviously. You're going to have to register the program, put in a password, all that jazz. When you start to set up your first bulb, you're going to have to give it your router password along with that, and then you can complete your setup to go forward. So it's really not that difficult. Now, these were sent to me by Nooie for review. They are an Amazon seller, so do check them out. There will be a link in the video description below for Amazon, so if you're interested in getting these things, then you'll be able to buy them from there. Now, I don't know the exact cost of these. I haven't gone to the Amazon link myself to check a price, and it wouldn't matter because prices do tend to change, so it wouldn't be an accurate price anyway, or it might be, but we're going to just go with what we're going with. So anyhow, I've got my phone set up. I've got 3 of these set up already. I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up one of these devices. Now, on a lot of smart technology devices, and we do have a lot of that stuff in this house, these particular ones don't have any kind of a switch. So what you need to do is either screw in, screw out, or flick switch on and off, depending on where you're installing it. I've got this light system that has a switch on it, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on, and then off, on, and then on again. And that should be enough cycles. It should do that. And then we're going to go add device, and we want to add, and we want to do a smart bulb. Now that gave a flicker. It should have actually gone to the blue flash by now, but it didn't. So I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to go faster. 1 flash. There we go. So, bulb, blue light is flashing. Click. Your password's going to be already there. Next. And then it'll start doing this to say that it's pairing. So now you got to wait for it to pair. Okay, pairing, please wait. Now this one here, it's already gone solid again, but we're going to let it sit for a minute and see what happens before we try again. Sometimes you don't always get it nailed right away, and that's fine. You can always retry. Okay, pairing has been successful. So just wait it out. There's a timer here. Alright, so now we have to give our light bulb a name. So, what am I going to call this one? Well, let's just call it Tester. Oh, let's call it something else. Jester. G. So we're going to call it Jester. Just give it any name you want. Alright, so we're going to go to Jester. We're going to just tap on here. Being a guitar player sucks. Come on, let me in. There we go. Get callus on your fingers. Kind of sucks. Now, we have a thing called themes. So we have focused. We have natural, which is the natural white light. And that's the brightest it goes. Wow, I think it might go a little brighter. Active. We have calm, romantic, kind of a pinkish, rosy pink, cheerful, playful, floating. So it has like a pulse. And it's kind of neat when you got 3 of these at the same time. It gives that neat little pulse, and they're all at different rates because you're doing one at a time, so you're not syncing them, right? So it's kind of neat. Okay, so that's our custom stuff. So we're going to go back to natural here. And we're going to go back in adjuster. Come on. That's not what I want. There we go. Alright, so now in here, if we just take this line where it's red, and we just turn it down just a hair, that'll move the circle. And now we can take this circle and move it anywhere we want within this color palette. And we can change things until we're got just where we want. That's a really green. I like that kind of green. So now we're at full brightness, so now we can dim it down so it's not so, you know. And the lowest setting here, of course, we can go right down. That's a lot easier on the eyes too. So, oh, there we go. It looks just like that. So we can even go even less and less. So you can really mood set these bulbs pretty good, you know, and you can get a variety of colors out of them, which is really awesome. And then we want let's try really red. See how red we can get. Let's bring that up. So anyway, so this is kind of a neat thing. Now you can schedule times too, for, you know, Sunday through Sunday, you know, 7 days a week, and set your time for each day. So you just, you know, click on a day, set the time you want it to come on, set it what time you want it to come off, etc. On each day. Now the lifespan of these things is said to be over 28 years, and that's averaging at 3 hours of use a day. And your yearly cost based on 3 hours a day would be about $1.20 a year is all it's going to cost you to run these at 3 hours a day, which is actually quite cheap. That's way cheaper than a regular incandescent bulb, like by far. And with this you got more advantage than incandescents and standard LED bulbs, is because you get to choose colors. So you can have the atmosphere in different rooms to the way you want them, you know, which is kind of really neat. I like that, you know. Let's go over to the blue. That's a pretty nice blue. I like that. So anyways, you also have this area as well, which is your regular color for your white. Jacket right up this way. Oh, that skipped it. Get over here. Okay, so there. So you can really crank that up. So that's like full white. That's like full on white. That's pretty bright on the eyeballs. No, Jester. And there we go. So back to that setting. So we can go on and off. So we can go from this setting here, scroll it across. Now it goes to the straight pure white. In which case we can change the brightness level to really low, softens it right up, medium, wherever you want on the slider. Just pick your spot, okay? Or go back to this one, so whatever your last color was set here is what it'll go back to. Pretty simple and easy. Now I can't do any voice commanding stuff for you. I don't have that kind of technology in the house. Maybe a sponsor will send me some of that Alexa stuff, who knows. In this case, I'd like to really thank Nooie for sending me these things. There's a total of 4 bulbs that comes in the box, and they're not very expensive, which is really good. So they're very inexpensive, and 4 bulbs can go a long way depending on where you're going to put them. And if you saw the thumbnail, which you would have, of course, that was a picture shot in the studio of each bulb at a different color that I did a picture of as my thumbnail. Those bulbs are already set up in there and rocking and rolling and working great. So what I did initially is I set each one of these bulbs up and I programmed them in here, gave them their names. So in my studio I got Sarah, Kelly, and Studio. And when I unscrewed them from here, I'm taking all the power away, but all the settings are in here. So first you want to do is you want to make sure that the light switch is off, screw them into the socket, fire up your program, then turn the light switch on wherever they're going to be into. Give it a second or two and they'll automatically resync. So once they're programmed and set up, you should be fine. I had no issues. So that's actually quite good. I really appreciate the fact that it kept its setting. And I closed the program right down. Now, I do have to stress though, you must be on 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi for these things to actually work. If you only have 5 gigahertz, these things will not work on 5 gigahertz internet systems. And it does go through your internet, through your phone and stuff. Now, I have data, of course, obviously on my cell phone, and I know we've tested other smart devices we have in the home. We can control them from anywhere that we are, as long as our router at home is turned on and our data is turned on our phone here. We can control those other devices. Now, I will do a test when I can get some time, and I will go for a drive that's more than long enough away for distance, and then just rely on my cell data to talk to these things at home. So, and if it works, of course you'll know, because we're gonna do that test so that we'll be talking back and forth between me and my wife, and I'll turn light switches on and off, change colors, and she'll tell me if that's actually working for us. And if it is, then that'll be the same as the other smart devices, which means when you're away from home, you'll have no problems controlling these lights. And the scheduling is kind of nice too, because if you go out somewhere at night, you know, we all have this whole security thing, and you know, people, and depending where you live, right? When you shut your lights off in your house completely, and of course there's no vehicle in the driveway. Now, not everybody owns a vehicle either, right? It's assumed that nobody's home. So if somebody's going to try and break into your house, they're going to be looking for complete lights out. But you can control the lights on timers, or you can manually switch things on and off, especially if it's getting to be dark and when you left the house it was daylight. You can automatically turn the lights on. People will think that there's somebody home, when in fact there isn't, or maybe there is. Either way, and you're still on a timer. Either way, it's kind of a neat security issue. I found from a lot of people I've talked to in the past that, you know, they have timers for their lights when they're not home, and it has actually prevented anything from happening while they were gone. Meanwhile, somebody down the street didn't have that sort of thing, and their house got ransacked. So, you know, just stands to reason, because criminals prefer that you're not home. So having something like this too, where you can schedule it, is kind of cool. But even if you're not using it for that kind of purpose, just randomly having things turn on and off when you need them to, that's a great way to run the scheduler. I'm of course going to run these manually, because 3 of them are in my studio, so when I'm not in there they get shut off. When I am in there, of course I'm going to need my lighting, you know, and that's what I'm going to use them for myself. But yeah, definitely worthwhile investment. Package of 4 is great. I've seen similar type of units that you can buy locally, you know, and they cost more and you get less bulbs for your money. So you can actually get more for your money out of these things. And they do seem to be built rather well. Now, they do say in the instructions and stuff that these things can get hot. I guess, well, if several hours goes by, but, you know, this is kind of just warm to the touch, you know. The top stays very ice cold, you know. I think it's just nothing more than a plastic top. But the sides of the ballast area here, where all the electronics are and all that, it's just warm to the touch. So it's not going to get hot. So I don't know why they don't just say it's going to just get warm, you know, because it's not going to get hot. But, you know, anyways, it's the way it goes. They write them up how they write them up. But the instructions are pretty clean in here. They're pretty good. But, you know, you've seen how I've set it up as far as this part goes. I wasn't going to sit here and walk through, you know, my password, my internet connection, all that, because you guys, you know, you don't need to see that information. But you know, it is super easy. It's and when you do register the program, they will email you a code to your email address that you're using to sign in with. And once you put the code in, then you create a password for your account with Nooie, and away you go. Okay? And you can just knock yourself out and have fun and play around with all these different colors, get what you want out of it, and enjoy the technology and the fun, because man, these things are quite awesome. I like how you can just, you know, go anywhere in the wheel and just change things. That's kind of neat, you know. And then of course, if you want to go to the next screen again, it automatically jumps it to the regular white color. So you can just switch them right to white if you want to get away from the color. Because when you're on here, you don't get access to that actual white. The closest you're going to get is this, you know, and it's still is kind of like, I don't know, so let's crank that up and see what happens. No, that really doesn't do it. But you know, you go to here and you're at the regular white light setting. And speaking of white settings, light appearance in warm, which is your lowest setting on the brightness scale, you're at 2800K, and 6000K is what they call cool, is your top end. Energy used is 10 watts, 22.8 years lifespan based on 3 hours a day usage. Energy cost based on that, if you're at 11 cents per kilowatt hour, would be $1.20 a year per bulb. Okay, 800 lumens brightness. So not too shabby. You know, that's pretty decent. And these screw into any standard light bulb socket, you know, and away you go. So no problems. That's great. Let me just turn that off because I'm sure that's starting to get a little annoying. It is for me. Bright light. Gremlin! So, if you're looking for a star rating out of me, guys, I'd say 4.25 out of 5 is fair. You know, I don't mind that there's no push button, but it would be nice if they would say, you know, you need to turn the light on and off a few times before you can get it to jump in. Because I have tried it, of course, with just turning it on and waiting, and oh, it's not going blue. So you turn it on and off quickly, about 3 times, 4 times tops, and wait, and then it'll click, and then you gotta get that flashing blue or it's not going to pair. But that would have been nice to add into the instructions of something that you need to do as part of the setup. As far as the rest of it goes, I mean, it's kind of, you know, common sense. Download the program, sign in, create an account and password, away you go. You know, when you want to add a new one, there's a little plus sign here. You just pop on that, add a device. You can create groups, manage your entire home with smart devices. You know, one thing I do want to check out is to see how compatible these things are with the Tekken devices that I have. Because these are Nooie, right? So, are they going to be, is this program compatible with my Tekken stuff? And if it is, I'll let you know that in another video. But in the meantime, I am quite enjoying the new atmosphere in the studio. And I'm hoping that these white lights are going to be a lot better even for recording, for lighting when I record videos in my room compared to what I was using. So that hopefully is going to be helpful. But otherwise, when I'm in there just having fun even, I can change the color of the lights everywhere, and you know. And I do like that, which one was it here? Themes. Okay, turn on. This one called floating. I like this floating thing. You know, now this is going between like the white and the blue, you know, but you can change that too, you know. That's actually quite cool. So for now we'll just turn that off, and you turn it off from here. So when you have these things set up, do not turn off the switches to whatever you screwed the bulb into. Control everything from your phone, because that's the whole point of smart tech. You now control on and off and everything right from your device. And it's like, boom, ah, now we're on. And I don't like that. So I'm going to go here. No, I'm going to go back here. Now to get back to this screen, okay, you'd think, okay, I go here. No, it brings you here. So touch it again. See this down arrow? Hit that, and boom, you're right back. Now that's, there we go. That's more of a kind of blue I like. And this way I can leave it on if I want. And then I just go back here. Right? Pretty simple and easy. There's a little set of little 3 lines here. You click on that, and it brings you into app settings, help area, inbox, and so on. You can do editing there. Very straightforward, very simplistic to use. Anybody can run these things. Okay, but you definitely have to be on that 2.4 gigahertz thing. So 4.25 out of 5. Not perfect. Needs a little bit more instruction on getting these things initially set up because there's no push button switches on these. Now our tech and plugs that we have in the house, those things you just push the button and you got to get it to flash blue and then you can add the device and get it bound, right? This doesn't have the button, so be aware of that. These will not set up the same as your other devices would. But they do set up nonetheless really well. The long-term thing is, I mean, hey, we're talking 28-year lifespan is what they rate these things at. Thinking, I don't know when I'll do an update review to let you know if I've had any glitches or problems. When I run across some glitches or problems, I'll let you know. And when it actually occurred, if we had any problems, then you'll get a video. Otherwise, I don't see a real need for an update at this point in time. Okay? Because, yeah, 28 years, I'm going to be old. So, you know, hey, if I got 2 or 3 years out of a set of these bulbs for what they cost, even that would make me happy. You know, because I am definitely going to be running these for a lot more than 3 hours in a day, I'll tell you that. You know, so I'm definitely going to be the first person to shorten the lifespan on these. Well, probably not the first, but, you know, I'll probably get maybe 6 or 7 hours a day is about what I'll be running these at. You know, so if they're rated at 28 years for 3 hours a day, and I doubled that time even for 6 hours, I'm going to cut myself down to about 14 years, right? And that's going on their estimations. I mean, some stuff lasts even longer. Some stuff doesn't last as long. You know, I mean, I'm surprised our LG TV after all these years is still running, because I've seen a lot of TVs that end up in the dump, you know, that are only 2 and 3 years old. Ours is going on, what, over 10 years? You know, and it's still going strong, so, you know. But that's where we're at. Just had to avoid a sneeze there. Sorry, guys. I didn't want to sneeze on camera. But, so I'm out of here for now. I'm going to go play in my studio with these lights and see what kind of trouble I can get into tonight with them. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, checking out the video. Thanks again to Nooie for sending me these things. That's awesome, you guys. And I look forward to more abilities to do reviews for their company too, if that happens. That'd be great. Meanwhile, guys, catch you later.